In the headlines, Jigawa records 29 new deaths as toll from flooding tops 90. Gridlock as National Association of Nigerian Students block Lagos Airport Road. Panic as bomb explosion rocks Jalingo. And on the foreign scene, world leaders attend state funeral bid final farewell to Queen Elizabeth. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Now the news in detail. At least 29 more people have lost their lives to flood-related incidents in Jigawa as waters continue to submerge communities in various parts of the state. This brings to 92 the death toll from such circumstances, police authorities in the northwestern state have said. The public relations officer of the police command in Jigawa, Lawal Shisu, confirmed the figures on Sunday. According to him, the deaths occurred mostly as a result of drowning, canoe mishaps, thunderstorms, and building collapses. Floods have continued to wreak havoc in Jigawa as more communities and farmlands are submerged in many parts of the state. We speak to the Executive Secretary, Jigawa State Emergency Management.
We are trying to, many people have been displaced by the two rivers we have in Jigawa, River Hadeja and the River Jamari. And many villages have been displaced. So we are trying to bring out the displaced people to the upper lands and camp them and provide food for them. This is what we are doing. And we are receiving donations or interventions from NEMA, National Emergency Management. We have about 91 people now, and that one is ongoing because the plan is still going on, running across our local domain. So we are just bringing the displaced people to the upper land so that we camp them and provide food, medicines, and so many things. All the requirements should be provided by us.
Meanwhile, at least 9 people have been confirmed dead after drowning in different local government areas of Jigawa State over the weekend. The police spokesman in the state, DSP Lawan Shisu Adam, and his Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps counterpart, CSC Adamu Shehu, disclosed this to newsmen in Dutse. The victims, who were mostly related, drowned while trying to cross different streams or got trapped in a sand ditch. Reports say cases of boat mishaps and passengers drowning have been on the rise in the state in the last couple of weeks, with as many as 20 people already confirmed dead, apart from the recent 9 casualties. A 2-story building collapsed in Bukuru, just south local government area of Plateau State. Reports say efforts are underway by men of fire service, Red Cross, and State Emergency Management Agency trying to evacuate the debris and rescue life. Speaking to Trust TV, the head of Fire Service Plateau State, Erubong Goti, and the owner of the collapsed building, Beatrice Moses Pam, speak on the incident.
The issue here is that it's an old building, and the owner decided to add another floor to an existing building, which, to my understanding, led to this collapse. In addition to that, the area, the land, is a swampy area, and to the best of my knowledge, it contributed to the collapse of the building. Whoever wants to build a house should also visit the fire service in order to vet the building plan and also monitor the building as the building progresses. And once a building has been constructed, we should also allow fire service to carry out what we call fire risk assessment.
I need the government assistance. Because for me now to raise that kind of amount to start any business now, I didn't have any source. I don't have any source. I don't know anywhere I can start. Even to eat now, I don't know where I can even get what I can even feed my family.
Details in our subsequent bulletin. Akwa Ibom State government has ordered a probe into the collapse of a 4-story building barely a day after the incident occurred in Uyo, the state capital. The State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Ini Ememabong, who disclosed this in a statement on Sunday, said the panel is to conclude its work within 1 month and anyone found responsible for any wrongdoing will face the wrath of the law. Meanwhile, Governor Udom Emmanuel has expressed his deepest condolences to the families of whose relatives were trapped and eventually died in the collapsed building, while wishing the survivors a quick recovery. Moving on to security, there was panic in Jalingo on Sunday after an explosive device suspected to be a bomb exploded in the Taraba state capital. The incident occurred in the morning at a location close to the Taraba State University, causing damage to some shops and residential buildings in the area. Eyewitnesses at the scene of the blast claimed that the bomb was planted behind a drinking joint. Although no life was lost, police have cordoned off the area to avert another blast just in case another device was planted nearby. No official comment on the incident from police or the state government. Residents on their part have expressed fears over what could befall them again, saying Sunday's incident was the fourth explosion that had rocked the state since the beginning of the year. On education, National Association of Nigerian Students has blocked roads leading to the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, causing vehicular gridlock. The mass action is in continuation of their protest against the industrial action by the Academic Staff Union of Universities. Students who defied the heavy downpour caused gridlock on the road leading to the airport, leaving many travelers stranded. Meanwhile, the Lagos State Police Command, RRS operatives, Lagos Airport Police Command and other security agencies are on ground to avert breakdown of law and order. The House of Representatives and the Academic Staff Union of Universities have scheduled a meeting for Tuesday to dialogue on the 7-month-old strike. ASU is expected to submit a written presentation of its perspective on the matter to the House ahead of the meeting, which is at the instance of Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila. Gbajabiamila, in an invitation letter to ASU President Samuel Osodeke, said the House was worried by the failed negotiations between the federal government and the union. The federal government had dragged the union before the National Industrial Court last week. But despite the litigation, the government and ASU said they would not foreclose dialogue aimed at resolving the industrial crisis. Meanwhile, counsel to ASU, Femi Falana, SAN, explained that out-of-court negotiations can still facilitate the resolution. In politics, the Federal High Court in Abuja on Monday dismissed a suit filed by the People's Democratic Party challenging the legality of the substitution of placeholders by the All Progressives Congress and Labour Party with substantive presidential running mates. Trust TV's Shafi'u Suleiman reports that the PDP had asked the court to disqualify the presidential candidates of the two parties on that ground.
The People's Democratic Party had approached the court to determine whether the respondents, APC and Labour Party and their respective presidential candidates, contravened provisions of the Electoral Act by substituting their initial placeholders. While APC had Ibrahim Masari as placeholder, Doyin Okupe served as Labour Party placeholder before his replacement with Yusuf Datti, and Kashim Shettima replaced Masari in the APC. But in their submissions before Justice Donatus Okoronwo, defense counsels raised the issues of jurisdiction of the court to entertain the suit on the grounds that it is a pre-election matter which the plaintiff lacks locus to institute.
There is an evidence of the voluntary withdrawal of these candidates. So the court decided to align with our argument that the decision to withdraw is really the right thing to order. The court decided that the plaintiff lacks the local standard to constitute this action. And of course, the court didn't go into the merit of the case. The court held that it lacks permission to entertain this matter.
In his judgment, Justice Donatus Okoronwo held that the court lacks jurisdiction to grant the reliefs sought by the applicants, as he upheld the respondent's argument that the plaintiff actually lacked the locus to institute the case. The trial judge then dismissed the case for want of jurisdiction and a lack of local standi on the part of the People's Democratic Party to institute the case. Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Ahead of commencement of election campaign, a group called Ariwa Solidarity Group convened an interfaith special prayers for security and peace to reign throughout the period. According to the group, the 2023 election is important to all Nigerians, hence the need to embark on this prayer for the successful polls. The report.
It is an interfaith prayer where Muslims and Christians gathered to pray for the nation and the leaders.
Everlasting Father, we begin to ask that you shall restore peace into this country in the mighty name of Jesus.
The faithfuls of the two religions believe that with prayers, insecurity and other vices bedeviling Nigeria will be a thing of the past.
In the present situation of this country, you can see the high rate of insecurity. There is high rate of poverty. That is why we felt and we deemed it fit to come and pray together with the Muslims and ask for forgiveness of sins so that God will heal our country, Nigeria.
If you have this understanding between Christian and the Muslim, there will be a peace in the state. There will be a peace in the country. So because all what we found ourselves into this now in this country, it's because of the ethnic and the tribalism and the religious that create all these things. So if we can scrape it all away and we come together, we have a one thinking and one decision between Muslim and the Christian, we will have a peace in the country.
Other participants at the prayer session also seek divine intervention for the peaceful conduct of the 2023 elections.
We pray and we make our country to be settled down and make all this insecurity and this election that is coming now. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us power to make it successful.
Yeah, we are here today to pray to Allah, and by the grace of Allah, God will help us.
The electorate are admonished to shun any form of violence during campaigns. Bello Musa, Trust TV News, Kaduna.
Still talking politics, Governor of Kogi State, Yahaya Bello, has been appointed as the National Youth Coordinator of the Tinubu Shetima Presidential Campaign Council. Presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, who signed the letter announcing the appointment, stressed that Bello deserved the post owing to his impressive political achievements and his exemplary leadership. Former Governor of Lagos State expressed confidence that the Kogi State Governor will do his best to help the party run an effective, message-driven campaign which will lead to victory in the 2023 presidential election. In his acceptance letter, Bello pledged to deploy all in his capacity, working alongside the presidential candidate to ensure victory for the APC in the 2023 general elections. He described Tinubu as a great Nigerian who exemplifies transformational leadership and good governance. Party members and analysts described the appointment as a big boost for the campaign, considering the important place of youths in the 2023 elections and the impressive youth-targeted campaigns Bello conducted before the primary election. You're watching Trust News Update, coming up after the break. Sustaining reading culture. Do stay with us.
documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that Jigawa records 29 new deaths as toll from flooding tops 90. You also heard that gridlock as National Association of Nigerian Students NANS blocked Lagos Airport Road. Moving to more news, 5 days after the Niger State Road Maintenance Agency fixed the bridge that collapsed along Mina Bida Road, it has collapsed again. Many travelers, including those attending the Etu Nupe's 70th birthday last month, had to return home following the collapse of Sabangida Bridge less than 40 kilometers to Bida town. One of the commercial drivers, Idris Mohammed, told our correspondent that motorists had to take shortcuts through villages, while some of them had diverted to Bida, Wushishi, Zungeru to come to Mina. The contract for reconstruction of Mina Bida Road had been awarded to an indigenous contractor since 2018 at the cost of 24 billion naira, and the work has not attained 30% completion. The State Commissioner of Works, Mohammed Sani Lafia, could not be reached on telephone. Kaduna Book and Art Festival has come to an end, with participants entertaining fears over the sustainability of the event after the tenure of Governor Nasiru El-Rufai. The participants believe that if sustained, it will encourage reading culture and promote literacy, as well as help in the discovery of talents in the north. The report.
Kaduna Book and Art Festival is an annual literary, cultural, and art event that debuted in 2017. It is also the largest art and literary event in northern Nigeria, where literates gather to showcase their talent. Besides inspiring the participants, the event not only encourages reading culture, but promotes cultural heritage.
A lot of youths here, and we're losing the reading culture. With this program, I think getting back to books.
That literary tradition, which we have always been known for as a people, we are naturally storytellers as Africans, has not been lost. All that is left is for platforms like this to keep sprouting.
I believe that there are certain conversations that need to be had, and we don't really have them outside these settings. So I think it's important that we have these conversations here.
It exposes you to a lot of critical conversations for this generation and how our society works now.
If I'm going to do something big of literature or art someday, I think this is going to be my biggest motivation, Kada first.
For freelance journalist and bilingual writer Salim Yunusa, supporting writers by state government is key.
Having arts, having artists in the states is a way of promoting the state and the talent pool of the states. So the government should do all it can to support this kind of movements, because you cannot just be allowed to have a talent for it to waste away. It is very important as a government to identify all sources of talent and promote that in their states.
The fears entertained by writers and art lovers is whether the program will be sustained beyond Governor El-Rufai administration in the state.
Unfortunately, we haven't been able to move it from government funding to private sector funding, which would have been the ideal. But the only thing I'll say is I personally will try my best to see that it is sustained. If the next government that comes in does not see it fit to continue, we'll have to look for funding from other sources.
Well, festivals can only be sustained by funding, to be honest with you, and it's hard. It's very difficult, and as long as Kaduna State continues to put its money where its mouth is about wanting to support young creatives, I think this festival will continue.
It definitely should be sustained, because just like the children need to know about their culture, we also need to know more about our culture, and we need to learn how to inculcate it into our everyday lives.
The 2022 Kaba Fest featured panel discussion, art and book exhibition, book chat, film screening and discussion, dance performance, among others. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
In crime, operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency have arrested an ex-convict, Onyeka Charles Madukolu, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, for importing 5.90 kilograms of cocaine concealed in cans of deodorants and ladies' lip gloss into Nigeria. Onyeka, who was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment in Ethiopia for drug trafficking offenses and released from prison in 2020, was again arrested on Friday, 16 September 2022 at the Lagos airport on his return from Sao Paulo, Brazil, via Addis Ababa on an Ethiopian Airlines flight. Here's an update of the agency's activities for the week.
A search of ex-convict luggage revealed that he has concealed 5.90 kilogram cocaine inside cans of deodorants and female lip gloss. During preliminary interview, the suspect, who claimed to have gone into drug business to raise fresh capital to start a legitimate business after his release from Ethiopian prison in the year 2020, said he was expecting to be paid 2 million naira on successful delivery of illicit drug in Nigeria. In the same vein, NDLEA operatives had on Tuesday, 13 September, intercepted another trafficker, Chukwu Kingsley, who had concealed among food condiments 11,460 tablets of tramadol 225 milligram with a gross weight of 5.7 kilogram and 39 bottles of codeine syrup. Also at the Lagos airport, a freight agent, Lawal Adeyemi, was arrested same day for attempting to export some sachet of Laxotan, among other non-controlled drugs, to Liberia, while operatives equally seized 593.90 kilograms of cat leaf at the Nakot import shade of the airport on Thursday, 15 September, after a joint examination of the cargo by a combined team of security agencies. Meanwhile, a notable producer of a new psychoactive substance popularly called Akuskura, Kasim Ademola, has been arrested by anti-narcotic officers who intercepted 26,600 bottles of illicit substance meant for distribution across northern states. In Kogi State, operatives on patrol along Okene-Abuja Expressway on Saturday, 17 September, intercepted a J5 vehicle coming from Onitsha en route Kaduna, Zaria, with 18 pieces of pump-action rifles and 1,300 cartridges, while the two suspects conveying the arms and ammunition, Chukudi Aronu, 51, and Shuaibu Gambo, 23, were arrested. In Kaduna, a drug dealer, Mohammed Mustafa Del Atu, aka Dawa, was arrested at Sabon Gari, Zaria, with 8 bags of cannabis sativa weighing 67 kilograms. And another, Meikudi Hassan, arrested at Gubuchi village of Ikara local government area with 5 bags of cannabis sativa weighing 54.2 kilograms. While directing the Kogi State Command to immediately hand over the arms and ammunition seized to the police for further investigation, Chairman Chief Executive of the NDLEA, Brigadier General Muhammad Buba Marwa, retired, in a statement from the Director, Media and Advocacy, Femi Babafemi, commended the officers and men of the command, as well as their counterparts in MMIA, Kano, Kaduna, Edo, Lagos, and Bauchi for their vigilance and resilience.
The Nigerian Labour Congress says its position on the removal of petrol subsidies has not changed. NLC President Ayuba Waba, who made the clarification in a statement in Abuja, said the union's position was that local public refineries must work and 100% importation of refined petroleum products must stop. These demands, he said, were contained in a workers' charter of demands, which the organized labor would be using to engage the political process. It will be recalled that Festus Keyamo, campaign spokesperson of the presidential campaign of APC, had asked the NLC to come out clean on its stand on fuel subsidy. This is because the Labour Party presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has constantly said that he would remove fuel subsidy if elected. And on the foreign scene, Britain bid farewell to Queen Elizabeth II on Monday at a state funeral attended by world leaders before a historic last ceremonial journey through the streets of London packed with sorrowful mourners. Huge crowds gathered in near silence to watch as the Queen's flag-draped coffin, topped with the imperial state crown, her orb and scepter, was carried slowly to a gun carriage from Parliament's Westminster Hall, where it had lain in state since Wednesday. In his funeral sermon, Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, praised the Queen's life of duty and service to the UK and Commonwealth. The longest-serving monarch in British history died at Balmoral, her Scottish Highland retreat, on September 8 after a year of decline in health. And that's it on Trust News Update. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Darshan Hussaina Usman. Thanks for watching.